Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Monique Gugino, and welcome to the Q&A for the Summoning Sorta. I am the co-founder and director for the Summoning Sorta, and we have some of the cast and crew for the short. And let's introduce you guys. So I'm producing today as well as asking the questions as well as moderating. So let's see if we got this. Okay, so first up we have Jose. Hi, do you want to say who you are and what you do or what you did for the summoning?
Sure. My name's Jose Rodriguez. I played, I believe, Larry in the summoning, and I'm just trying to make it as a writer.
Ooh, that's weird. There's a delay, isn't there? Okay, that was weird. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ooh, did you
You
hear me at
guys,
all?
I can hear you. Can you guys just hear me?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah.
The conversation's going
Okay,
well.
then it's just me. Okay, never mind. Okay, so up next is Kyle.
Hi, my name is Kyle Cowhite. I am actually the demon that was summoned, and I actually been with Wicked Windows for a while. I did behind the scenes, helped out, moved a lot of equipment, did some of the writing for Everyday Spooky. I am there 100%. If anything, like if you guys need me, you know where to contact me. Besides that, I'm pretty much good to go.
Awesome, thank you. And we have Seth.
Hello, I'm Seth Peterson. I played Bert in the summoning. I also wrote the opening chant in Latin. I think that's about all I did for that particular project, but I've been helping out Wicked Window for the past 2 years, writing, editing, and being a script supervisor.
Cool, thank you. And then we have, last but not least, Shelly.
Hello, my name is Shelley Sanfilippo Stokes. I'm the producer for all the Wicked Widow films, but specifically in this case, The Summoning Sorta. And I sometimes come up with ideas, but I'm surrounded by awesome people I work with. So, like everyone here, and including our co-founder, Wicked Window, Monique.
Awesome, okay. So I'm going to be asking some questions, and if you have any questions, you can always ask in the chat in our YouTube page. Okay, so I guess we can start off from the beginning. I can tell you a little bit about what The Summoning is. So The Summoning is a short film about two friends that kidnap a neighbor and tie him up, and they're ready to sacrifice him to a demon so they can get their wishes, like bringing back Firefly. So, Shelly, since you're the producer, can you tell us a little bit about the production, some of the details, like how many days did it take to film, the budget, how many crew members did we have, those types of things?
Sure. So, first off, the story came up from a very fun experience. The writer mentioned it was a family kind of what would happen if someone kidnapped you, but you were too annoying to keep. So that kind of built up the story. And on the production side, this was actually one of those that we thought it would be fun to do and let's have fun with it. So it turned out to be 2 days, which was actually 1 day longer than we expected, but that's how it is sometimes. The budget was actually probably less than $200, if I recall right. A lot of things were very much it was practical effects, but wasn't over the top. There wasn't a lot of blood. The digital effects were not crazy amounts, so that was done in house and not too bad as well. And so it was basically kind of a few props, which a lot we had with the crew, and then just feeding people, which probably cost more than anything.
Awesome, thank you so much. So, Seth, talking about the story, you're the one that came up with the chant that's repeating in the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was one of my first projects whenever I first joined. they just asked me to look over the script really quickly, and I decided, you know, if they were in a cult, it would be kind of cool if they had a chant. So, chant is actual Latin. I believe it translates roughly to "We summon you, O pig god," something like that. So I just thought it would be really funny to have a little, I don't know, Easter egg joke for the Latin aficionados out there, if anybody were to, you know, look it up or understand Latin.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so one of the fun things that for me or challenges, I should say, for the summoning is that for me as a director, I found it really challenging because one of the actors is tied to the middle of the location. And so trying to do the blocking with that where you can't really go anywhere was really, really challenging. So one of the things that I did is that I kind of separated the set into three pieces. Anytime they got really serious, they were summoning a demon or anything else like that, they were all the way behind the character that was tied up. Anytime that they were talking to that character that they kidnapped, they were directly next to him. And whenever they had a side conversation, they stepped forward. And it allowed the middle character to kind of interject into their conversation. So I used that to kind of do a lot of the blocking. It gave the actors kind of a direction and a way to move. So that was definitely a challenge to kind of make this interesting for 5 minutes, looking at these characters and they can't really go anywhere. So that's one challenge that we had during filming. Seth and Jose, the two of you are primarily writers, but for this production, you were asked to act, and I believe this was your first time acting. So I would like to get some information from you guys. What advice do you have for first-time actors or directors that are working with first-time actors? What worked for you and what didn't work for you? So we can start with Jose.
Oh man, the sound of my own voice didn't work for me. I don't know how it works for other people, but I don't know when Monique, I think she asked me. I think there was a cancellation or something, and she asked me to be in it on like the day of the shooting, and I think I like paused because on the outside I was like, yeah, you know, whatever, but on the inside I was like kind of screaming just because I'm so nervous about being on camera. I suppose my advice would be more if you're acting, be more pretend you're on a stage, like be more expressive than you would think to be. And I think if you're, I guess, a director working with new actors, don't be afraid to say exactly what you want, which is exactly what Monique did in the moment. She's like, I need you to be angry, and did the best I could.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you did a great job, especially since it was your first acting job and you had to be that angry. So,
Oh, thank you.
all right, Seth, what about you? This is the biggest thing that you've done as an actor, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think high school stage productions count, do they? I don't think so. But first joined in, I was just reading for the actor who didn't show up, and it turned out, you know, I just kind of clicked with the rest of the cast, and Monique was just like, "Hey, you know, you're pretty funny, or at least, you know, funny looking. Do you want the part?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" I would have to say I agree with Jose. If you're a first time actor, you definitely need to be more expressive, like work out your face muscles a lot. I know that's something I could definitely improve on if I do any more acting. And for first time directors, it's you got to know what you want. You know, you got to know what you want, and you got to be able to communicate that clearly so that what's in your head ends up on screen.
Hey, it's experience.
Mm-hmm.
Is it my turn?
Oh, okay. Thank
Monique?
you. Yes. Kyle, let me ask you a question. So,
Okay.
you had the joy of being the demon in the Summoning Sorta. What was that like for you? How long did the makeup process take? And what did you do to kind of create that character, especially since he wasn't on for a very long time, but it was such a critical character.
Sure.
So those are my two questions. How long did it take to do the makeup? And then also, what was your experience like in creating that character?
Okay. How well can you actually hear me on here, just so you know?
I can hear you pretty well.
Okay. How about everybody else? Can you guys hear me?
Yep, pretty good.
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle. Uh-oh. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm experiencing technical difficulty. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and start. I was actually really excited about my role because I got to play this grotesque, creepy character. Really something that was going to be aligned my work, you know. So I was really excited about it. The makeup work, it took a little while to do. I mean, if you want to get something done right, it's going to take a little bit of time. That's how I feel about it. So if you want to make it into a really good, demon, you expect that into actually working to the makeup, so that way you can look like you're fit for that role. Um, when I actually felt it the first time when I got on camera, it it wasn't my first time being on camera, but it did feel like, I kind of had like a feeling that, it's something it's pretty unique because when you're on camera, you only have like a unique time on it. So you have to actually rework the way to actually get it right. My challenge was to make sure, the scenes were going right, everything was directed, that I was there in the certain spots and that I was actually looking in a certain way to actually make it more believable. So being in that moment in time, I feel like that's the challenge. Pretty much embracing that moment, separate anything that's going in mind and try to focus on that character itself. That way you're absorbing everything about it and that you can actually feel that experience alone. That way it'll help you become more of that character. Another thing is the scene was really short. Or something of that, I feel that it would be a pretty challenge, but it would have to be something for me to work on and actually take the time to actually make myself believable.
Okay, thank you, Kyle.
No problem.
So if you guys see me like squinting and stuff, it's because I put for a 30-second delay. And so now I actually hear this conversation happening 30 seconds ago. And so Kyle says, I can't see your lips moving. I'm like, I don't know when he's done. Okay, so my next question is, what did you guys learn from this experience, from filming The Summoning Sorta? I mean, as filmmakers, we're every time we pick up the camera, every time we write, every time we do something, we learn. So what did you guys learn from this particular production? And we'll start with Shelley.
Oh, thanks. Yes, like many of we learned my house area is very loud as a motorcycle just went by. Most learning kind of where your whereabouts are. Some places may seem fine and may have the perfect set design, but may not be so great on the sound. No, also kind of helped us. We've gotten a lot better with time management. So the good thing about this one is getting us a little closer to that point. So, like I said, originally this was supposed to be a 1 day. It turned out a 2 day, but now we've learned to plan things out, kind of be more prepared. And it was still fun just to see how it all turned out, especially seeing from kind of what the original story was. Even the title has changed from what it was originally decided to something that's more kind of reflective of the story. So it kind of took on something that may have started one way and became its own child being sort of, it expands. So being able to be creative enough to and adaptable enough to know that some things need to change as it's going on and being able to accept and get on the flow with that.
Cool. Thank you. What about you, Seth?
Well, that was one of my first times being on a film set. So I think the main thing I learned is that you have to be patient because it takes a while to set up all the shots. And as an actor, it's a lot of hurry up and wait. It's getting your mark and then wait 10 minutes for Gian to set up the camera. So you really have to be patient, and you also have to be flexible as well and be able to do multiple jobs and everything like that.
Cool. Thank you. Kyle, what did you learn?
I learned pretty much being on set with everybody that, like Seth said, you have to actually have the patience and try to be, lenient about with everybody, because everybody is pretty much worried about what's going on inside the environment. They want to make things right. And I know that if one thing can slip up, then, it's like everything can go out of control. And that's what I feel, is that we have to kind of keep calm. Things are bound to happen. Nothing can go perfect. So we have to make the best of the situation at hand. So making sure that everybody's doing well, if everybody's hydrated, everybody has the water, everybody's, fed, it takes a lot of responsibility. So I feel like, we have to make sure, like a family, we take care of every other person and to make sure that they're met at their demands, so.
Great.
That's all I have.
Thank you. And last but not least, Jose, what did you learn?
Acting's hard. I learned that what the hell are these people doing in my house roughly translates to, hey guys, why are there people in my house? Additionally, just the general stuff I learned whenever I was on set, that if you want something to look a particular way, even if it translates into roughly 10 seconds on film, that's probably that could be potentially hours of work that can go into it. And that's really something that stuck with me, that, if you want something, you got to work for it, basically.
Good. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So this is going to be the second to last question. Which is, what did you enjoy about filming The Summoning, or any funny stories that you have about production? So I will start off once again with Shelley.
Actually, can you go to someone else for a second? I'm in the middle of something. Sorry.
Sure. Seth?
Well, the lead actress, Evie, and myself, in between takes, we would do the scene, except we would do it entirely in Minnesota accent. So it was like a bad episode of Fargo, oh man, that demon's a right little, that kind of thing. My Minnesota's not up to snuff for tonight, but that was a lot of fun, and it made waiting for the shots to get up a little bit more entertaining.
Awesome. Kyle?
I actually had a great time meeting up with everybody that I haven't seen in a while, and it felt great to actually, to be able to relate a lot of common interests that we actually have at play, which is actually about movies and films. And I thought, at that moment when we were doing The Summoning, I thought it was really cool to actually have the horns and the makeup on, and I just felt like a different person right then and there. So, but everything worked out okay. I think we did a really good job on the set. When I actually got to interact with everybody, we pretty much kept an open mind process, and we got to learn about pretty much everything, what everyone had at play. So that's about it.
Great, thank you. Jose?
Yeah, the camaraderie, the cats. I think the fact that in order for you guys to try to get me angry for the scene, I think Blake just started punching me in the shoulder repeatedly. But yeah, just all in all, a very fun learning experience.
Cool. And we actually have another actress from the Summoning who just joined us. Evie, are you on?
I'm here. Hey guys, sorry about the delay.
No problem. So do you want to tell us a little bit about who you were in The Summoning?
Sure. I was Sam, and I was the type A personality trying to drive the whole summoning. I was the motivation behind everything because it definitely wasn't Bart.
Nope,
Awesome.
not even a little
So
bit.
we're just sharing something that we enjoyed about filming or a funny story that we had during the summoning.
Okay, did the Wisconsin thing get brought up yet or not yet?
Yes, that was just talking
Yep.
about.
Oh gosh, well that was a right nice way to talk about the experience, don't you know?
Oh yeah, it was a real laugh, right? You should have heard it.
Oh geez, we were just laughing and laughing, getting through them long hours on set. Oh geez.
Oh, it was like a warm
Awesome.
day at
Thank
Packers
you.
Stadium. It was so much
Shelley,
fun.
what about you? What was your memorable moment or funny
I-
story?
Anything would beat that.
Oh,
Evie, nice hair.
thank you. So, hi guys. I did Ariel's and Cirque show about a couple hours ago, so I look insane now.
You look beautiful.
I'm trying to fix it to something that looks human. I'm trying really hard.
Well, Evie, before I ask the final question, I have one question for you.
All
So,
right.
you were Luna in Everyday Spooky, who also was a very type A personality, who was almost abusive to men as well.
No, she wasn't.
And he deserved it. I will go on the record as saying Topher deserved everything he got.
As an actress, how do you manage to not repeat the same character? Because, you know, a lot of actors do get typecasted. So how do you create somebody that's so close but make them different?
Well, the great thing is you guys were fantastic and you gave me characters that were very distinct, so I had something to build off of. And in Luna, I built off of a lot of her Luna has such a strong personality and she's also kind of misanthropic, like she hates people and loves people. She hates people but loves her tribe. And I got to play off that to really build the character. And the popping out with the jokes and the retorts and all that. Sam is a lot more studious, and Sam I could build off of her relationship with Bart as well. So that was something really fun to build off of our bonds and to build off of, like, I had a binder for our spells. When I saw that binder when I arrived on set, I died because that is such a Sam thing to do. And my audition, getting to build off that monologue about Sam and Bart, that I don't think it made the final cut, but it was such a fun one about a school project that Bart just totally bailed on, and Sam had to do all the work herself. Oh no, the volcano. He brought the paper mache volcano, but it still worked out. Anyway, I'm going in circles, but they felt to me very distinct, and I think that as an actress, you find something to love in every single character, and from there you can build. At least that's my experience.
Awesome, thank you. All right, final question. I want to know, what are you guys up to next? So we'll start with Jose.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just working on a script and working on a book. And I just released a short film of my own. Yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Cool. Do you want to tell us where we can find that short film?
It's on YouTube. It is called Symptoms May Include Hallucinations. It is about a med student who starts hallucinating, and her pet cactus starts talking to her.
That's my dream.
Awesome.
My dream.
Kyle, what's the next project you're working on?
My next project is actually moving. Basically, right now I'm finishing up my macroeconomics. I'm actually moving out, and right now I'm pretty much working. We're having a remodeling project going on in my store. But as far as anything film related, nothing as of recently. But if anything, my time will be opening up pretty soon, which are going to be on the weekends. So I will have more availability to help out if needed.
Cool.
Kyle, you actually do have something. You are in one of the marketing videos for Hunters.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's something I'm gonna have to keep myself updated with. There's so much going on at the moment, but yes, with Hunters, that's going to be interesting to help market. But if with the further instructions, And what I need to do, I'll definitely do my best to actually push that project through.
Great, thank you. Seth, what about you?
Yep.
What's next for you?
Well, what's next for me is I'm helping out Wicked Window with Wickedtober, and I think the short film I wrote, The Itch, is going to be filmed, I think, this weekend, right? I think
Yep.
It's going to be filmed sometime in August.
Yeah, it's
and
this
I'm really
weekend.
excited for that. Yeah, really excited for that because it's got, guys, girls, and aliens popping out of people. It's the Holy Trinity, I think. So it's going to be fun.
Awesome, thank you. All right, Shelly, what are you working on?
What am I not working on? So, as I briefly mentioned, for releasing, Hunters will be our next thing releasing. That'll be in August, and that's our next web series, Return to Form. Not as really awesome, just new characters from everyday spooky, different but still fun. So that'll be released in August. And then what we're filming now is Wickedtober, which is 4 shorts that all relate to Halloween and will all be released in October. We will also have a horror host Night of the Living Dead on Halloween night. So those are kind of our upcoming things. And then what I'll also be working with Monique for the monster film, or no, the creature feature challenge. I'm sorry, different name. They all come together. And I'll be helping with our horror host to run that on in October. So that's kind of our upcoming item.
Great, thank you, Shelly. And last but not least, Evie, what are you working on?
Well, I'm doing a lot, but that's kind of how I roll because if I'm not doing anything, I feel like I'm dying. So I've been doing a lot of training in like parkour and aerials because I'm trying to up my expertise and what I can bring to a set. So I just finished a show this afternoon, and that was an aerial show. I did an act in a aerial hammock. We're going to do another one tomorrow. The film I Now Pronounce You is a short that we did for the Action Film Challenge. So that's going to be obviously coming out when the Action Film Challenge airs. But they're going to also be releasing that to various other festivals. So I'm really excited to see that premiere. And beyond that, I'm one of the lead roles in an upcoming feature film, Safe Place, which I'm also very excited to see get started. We'll be filming that in like November. That's all I can think of that may not be what I'm doing. I'm sure there's other stuff that I'm forgetting, and if I am, I am so sorry.
Are you actually
It's not our stuff. It's okay.
Yeah. Anyone's watching's like,
oh, sorry. Are you currently helping out MetroCon, by the way?
I'm performing at MetroCon with Shinobi School. Shinobi School. Yeah, we're doing, if you guys are around Friday at 2, we're doing our next show. It's Rick and Morty, A Squanch Fest to the Future, Part 2. It's a fun name, but and the cool thing about it is that because it's Rick and Morty, you're going through all these different universes, so they're able to pull in characters from other fandoms and things like that. So it's a lot of fun, and we're all getting to use a bunch of different skill sets that we have. So
awesome. Well, thank you for our special guest for joining us today and doing our very first Q&A like this. So if enough people like it and everything, then we'll continue making these. But thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day. See ya.
All right,
bye, guys.